You have Gary Kirsten joining you in your setup, who has been a celebrated coach who won India the 2011 World Cup. What inputs has he given you regarding the conditions, regarding how to approach the World Cup? Because he is a celebrated coach across the world.
Yes, he obviously has lots of experience, not only in the IPL, but as you say, with the 2011 winning squad, so definitely brings a winning edge to it. And also, brings lots of knowledge of the different grounds. But I think looking past that, I think it's very nice in terms of management that you have so many mentor type coaches who really like to bring the human side first, and they really like to connect with the players. And I think that's what we respect most about Gary and all the other coaches on our staff. But yeah, cricket is very much conditions based, and it's awesome to have him around. He knows all the grounds around here, and also opposition players he knows because he's been with so many different players, and as you say, immense experience.
Hi, Captain. Delhi generally, it's been a very, the ground is a very high scoring ground. You guys have practiced twice, last evening and today. Have you got the chance to look at the surface yet?
Yeah, we've been here 2 or 3 days now, and pitches were open, so we had a good look and a feel, and yeah, we saw the groundsmen how they prepared even for many hours in this morning session and in the afternoon session. We've been here for sort of afternoon training and morning training, so I think we're well accustomed and got a good feel of most of the day.
Hi. Hi, Vivek from The Hindu. This is your 4th T20 World Cup as a team. Just from the first T20 World Cup in 21 to now, what are the areas you feel you have improved in as a team, and what are the areas that are still lacking in your opinion?
From World Cups?
From
21, yeah. Yeah, I think just pure exposure. I think that's sort of most of my answers when people ask, especially about associate cricket and the sort of the fixtures that we get yearly. I think purely exposure is what physically gets you on this level, and I think going into our 4th World Cup, we've had lots of guys from the previous World Cups getting that feeling, that pressure, that sort of exposure that you have from crowd to media to big stadiums to lights. It's something we don't have in Namibia. So yeah, that's the kind of exposure that you get. I think makes the team as a whole more experienced and gives them a little bit more smarts of that level of the game. Yeah, so in terms of skill set, I think that yes, your skill set also goes up, and yes, we have more or less the same players through those World Cups as a core bunch. Yeah, but I do think we have a nice young group now that also is competing for the other spots in the team, and that's always quite healthy. We are not the biggest player pool in Namibia, so we need to sort of create, very much competition in our own circle.
This is Tushar from the Indian Express. You are playing Netherlands tomorrow. So how much of your attention right now is towards Netherlands 100%, or are you have a little look on what's coming up 2 days later against the home team?
No, all our energy is on the Netherlands game now. It's such a different game that we're going to face as opposed to the India game. Yeah, we haven't even thought about the 12th. We're only thinking about the next 24 hours. And obviously our attention is on ourselves first. It's about playing our best cricket, putting our processes in place, accessing our best skills, our strengths. And yes, if you can match up a little bit with the opposition and bowl the right bowlers to their batters and sort of have the right batsmen in at the right time to take down their bowlers, then I guess it's a good thing to look at the opposition. Obviously teams do so much analysis these days that the tactical side of the game is yeah, there's so much work being put in that sort of everyone has the information, everyone has the knowledge and the information out there to prepare. And because everyone's a little bit more on an even keel with that, I think it's more about delivering your processes on the day than trying to outsmart opposition too much with nosy tactics or anything.
Hi Skipper, I'm Niharika from INS in New Delhi. First of all, good luck for starting a campaign tomorrow. My question to you is regarding the associate nations only. Like since the start of this World Cup on Saturday, we have seen that many associate nations like USA, Nepal, they have given the bigger teams a run for their money. They have fought hard. So how much does that boost in the Namibian camp and propel you guys to make a similar kind of upset in this tightly contested Group A?
Yeah, I think all the teams that have qualified for the World Cup have just qualified as normal nations. They've qualified through rankings and positioning in their regions. So they don't really come here as an associate nation. That's just a tag that is put on the status of the countries all across the world, test nations and associate nations, because of infrastructure and the fact that you must qualify for it. But I don't see anyone as less or as an associate nation. Those first 4 games showed that it wasn't any flukes that those teams competed. They competed on very good conditions, on good wickets. They competed with skill, with mental skill. So no, I don't think there's been any, like flukes in what we've seen thus far in the World Cup. It's been real proper, just bat against ball cricket between teams, not associate teams, just cricket teams. So for us, it's always about trying to shake off that feeling that you are less than the other nations and that you come from the associate nations. For me, it's just an exposure thing. If we play those countries more often, then I think that 14-15 over mark, where most of the teams that lost the games in the first 4 games couldn't get over the line. If we have that exposure, then those flipping moments will turn it into more wins. Lots of the lower ranked teams that qualified in this World Cup have had good successes over the years, beating, I think, almost all of the test nations have been beaten, if I'm not correct. Maybe not India and Australia, I'm not sure about the stats, but they show that they belong, especially in this format. So I don't think it's any good to put any tags on it.
Hi.
Sorry, I don't think I actually answered your question perfectly. Just repeat that. Yeah, I guess then I did answer your question. It's just that I think it's cricketers against each other. So I think if we can take anything from their game, it is that in certain moments in the game when they competed nicely, there were flipping moments in the game. It happened in the field, I think, many of those mistakes. So if anything, we can take confidence from the fact that we're quite a good fielding side. And hopefully if we get into a position against any of the so-called higher-ranked teams or anyone in our group, and we can play those moments really well, I think we should be confident of also coming on the right side of the results.
Hi, Sandeep from Hindustan Times. I have a slightly broader question. Could you throw some light on the background of the players? Are they working professionals who play cricket alongside in their free time, or is everyone a professional cricketer? How does the system work slightly in Namibia?
Everyone's full-time professional cricketers. Everyone's full-time professional cricketers.
Yeah. Hi, Gerard. Vineet from CNN News 18. My question is an extension to what was the earlier question regarding the associate teams. You played your last T20 international in October against South Africa, and then the practice game. Do you think the World Cups, with the frequency with which it is happening every year, that's probably one of the reasons why we are seeing these kind of, lesser fancy teams giving the bigger teams a run for their money? Because apart from this, bilaterals doesn't happen with the big countries. So do you think this World Cup frequency each year happening is kind of giving, teams like Namibia, Nepal and others, giving that, a bit of push that we are able to compete with the much more fancier teams?
Yes, so like I said in the first question, more exposure just leads you to up your level. Like she asked, it was probably a matter of confidence that you get from it, but also just know-how and smarts of the skill of the game and lifting your level, a little bit higher ball speed, maybe a few different variations. If you see that more frequently, you'll come off better.
Hi. Hi, Skipper. You've spoken a great deal about exposure, and you're also one of the few teams, associate teams, that have, central contracts. What else do you think needs to be done to be able to bridge the gap that, helps you maybe push to the next level?
More frequent games, like we've said in a couple of answers, with higher ranked teams. It's definitely one, and the only other one is just resources. I think in your country, building cricket, building facilities and stuff. We've been very lucky. The ICC have supported us in building our facilities up over the last 2 years. We've got the hosting rights from the 2026 Under-19 World Cup and 27 Men's 50th World Cup. And they've really been great in supporting us to build those facilities. And we now have our first cricket field of our own. We don't have to share with rugby, and we have our own high-performance setup with gyms, recovery rooms. We can train on the fields because there's enough turf nets or turf strips, so we can put out nets and train there. So yeah, there's probably my answers: more frequent games for one, and for two, more resources and infrastructure.